Good morning. This is Samuel Jacob Kirchner, Voice of the Breeze, welcoming you to our Saturday morning turning into Sunday morning meditation hangout. Yesterday I was attempting to do it, the same thing I'm doing now, and somehow my voice didn't come across. And I received an email while I was doing this. On the screen of the computer, you can now see an incoming email. And it said, no volume. And I had to stop the live stream. And of course, I was disappointed. I was disappointed in that I was fully engaged in demonstrating how to breathe, love, and heal. And there, life threw me a curve. How do you breathe, love, and heal this little faux pas? Because things like this, of course, shouldn't happen. Things should be perfect. Technology should work. So you know where I'm going with this, right? And now it's Mercury retrograde. You know about Mercury retrograde, of course. It's that time, I think it's 2 or 3 or 4 times a year, a period of 2 weeks in which communication and everything is supposed to go wrong because of this star configuration. Things are delayed. There's a lot of unexpected screw-ups. And life is just not how we expect it, unlike every other day. And it's kind of like become, in my circles, kind of a legitimate way of saying, listen, you know, I did my best and it didn't work out. It's Mercury retrograde, so you better fasten your seatbelt and prepare for a bumpy ride. So, yeah, and if you pay attention to it, you know how it is when you start paying attention to what can be going wrong right now. You find plenty of things to go wrong. So, I don't know, to me it's a combination of, it's nice to be aware that I do believe in astrology and in the stars, and why not? It's all part of life, you know? Why not? Yeah. So, yeah, it's nice to know that it's Mercury retrograde, but not to stop working, doing the work, which is to be aware, to breathe consciously, to breathe love into particularly the things that are going wrong. And not so much the things that are going wrong outside of us, but our own reactions, our knee-jerk reactions, our conditioned reactions, which we, most of the time, left brain, have no control over. It's those, you know, those jumpy reactions. I gotta go to Twitter and write about it and express my feelings. Maybe. Yeah, express your feelings. Absolutely express your feelings, honor your feelings. But you don't have to get stuck in them, especially if they're negative and they're making you crazy. So there is something here that is very subtle. While we are totally entitled, not only entitled, we have our knee-jerk reactions, the one that I would call post-traumatic stress. Absolutely. You know, based on something that happened a long time ago, the brain is, part of the brain is reaction waiting to happen. The slightest sign of unsafety, danger, problem, loss, it reacts in a fight or flight, and here we are, ready to go to war. But then, if you do some extra work, the work of meditation, of awareness, of inquiry, self-inquiry, of rewiring your brain, you can open your heart with compassion to your reaction. I like starting with ourselves, to your reaction, to your embarrassing sometimes, hysterical, extreme, rigid reaction, fearful, yeah. And breathe, engage the breath. Because the breath is the ultimate healer. Engage the breath and be willing to be helped by the breath. To breathe love is you don't have the love in you in this moment in which you're all crazy and tense and reacting. You don't have that love to give. You can, however, connect to the source of love inside the breath, in your heart. You can connect to the source of love. And the connecting is actually by allowing the breath to infuse you with love. That's what it does. It's no brainer for the breath to do that. But we have to allow it to open that door, that window in ourselves that's all geared up to control, be right, react. Take a little break. Take a little break. And be willing to ask for help. Because you are now in your humanness. You are a human being in default, in acting out mode. You need help. Your higher power. It's right inside the breath. You have to open your heart and ask for it. Be willing to be helped. The problem in the world is not that there is not enough love, not that there is not enough of anything. It's mostly that we are locked in a pattern of thinking, behaving, feeling as if that's the end. This is it. And so we have to do whatever we can, including struggle with ourselves, exhaust ourselves, run ourselves ragged, treat ourselves very badly in order to protect ourselves. And what can you have but compassion for that? Yeah, even right now, the last 9 minutes of my talk, I am working on a couple of channels. I'm multitasking here. I am speaking my truth. Everything I'm saying comes from my experience and from my training and from my knowledge of 70 years on this earth. And I can still get driven. Forget to breathe. Forget to open my heart. It's like a posture that I really believe I would love to be doing this 20,000 times a day, which is as many breaths as we take. I'd like to be able to remember to open my heart and breathe love and heal the situation in which I'm starting to become separate from life, fragmenting, isolating, living as if life is a danger rather than being one with life, being one with the breath, being a force of life rather than fearing life. So perhaps I will attend now, or attend rather, to a request I got from my lovely old good friend Aviva Angel from Israel, who told me on Facebook, of course, that she was having a rough week and she asked me to demonstrate the breathing, which I think I'm doing all the time. However, I'm going to really speak a little bit more specifically about how to breathe. So, in the background, I am playing the chimes of coherent breathing, which were developed by Stephen Elliott, bless his soul. And he's alive, by the way. Bless his soul, he's alive. And the chimes in the background, as you can hear, there's a higher chime up, breathing in, and a lower chime, breathing out. Through the nose, breathing in, breathing out. Breathing with ease. Breathing in, breathing out. Don't breathe deeply. Breathe with ease. You will actually get more oxygen in your brain if you don't try too hard. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the mouth, through the nose, if you can. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose. It's that simple. The thing is that we want to breathe for a purpose, not just breathe. We just breathe 20,000 times a day. But here, conscious breathing is breathing with a purpose. I breathe to allow love to infuse me and to heal, to become whole. So, right now we're just doing it, and we are in a, hopefully, an okay state. And it's recommended when we start with this particular kind of breathing to practice it 20 minutes a day. After a couple of months, you start feeling differently because the brain is getting this constant oxygen, and all our faculties governed by the brain balance, especially the healing faculty in the brain. So my mantra is breathe, love, and heal as in blah. Breathe, love, and heal. And when you do that, without much struggle, without trying to do it right, which is not easy, you become more present, more loving, clearer, and you lighten up, as in becoming enlightened in the moment. I'm enlightened. I'm an enlightened being, not feeling arrogant or pretentious about it. When I do this, I feel lightened up. But then it takes one little glitch, one little something not going my way to hijack me from this state of enlightenment, presence, love. And I switch back to stress, fear, anxiety, existential anxiety. So, the difference between this way of breathing and maybe other ways that promise that if you do it long enough, in the future, you will be enlightened. This is in the moment, right now, with every breath you take, you can lighten up. And don't count on staying there. That's why we call it a practice. Practice makes perfect. For the rest of my life, I am willing to do this dance, to practice being present, to practice being loving, to practice lightening up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It feels like a privilege, not a burden. I am not engaged at all in woeing. Why do I have to practice? I know exactly why. Because the other way is very grim. I don't want to entertain depression. I don't want to entertain misery and oppression that are, and suffering that are self-inflicted. And I really believe that so much of our suffering is self-inflicted. As the Buddha said, pain is mandatory and suffering is optional. So Aviva, I hope this is helping to just really pay attention to that. Breathing in and breathing out with ease. Breathing in and breathing out. Now, I want to mention that I have an app. It's called the Breeze app. A-P-P, Breeze, B-R-E-A-Z-E app, which you can get for free at the Apple Store, at the App Store. It's right now, right now it's only compatible with iPhones. We're working at making it compatible to smartphones as well, but in the meanwhile, it's only compatible for iPhones. And the app has a lot of possibilities of ways in which you can program it in such a way that it keeps reminding you. Reminds me 6 times a day now. I get this little voice and notice on my iPhone that says, breathe love, with my voice and with some nice chimes in the background. And there are many, many more things on the app that you can access and program. But it's all in the service of breathing, love, and healing. Blah. So one of the nice things about this is that we can multitask. We don't have to sit in meditation 24 hours a day. This is about living in meditation 24 hours a day, but not necessarily stay in one position. That's why we have the 5 steps of the breeze, which consist of shaking, flowing, standing like a tree, walking mindfully, and dancing. So I'm going to take you through the 5 steps of the breeze combined with the Hopi message, the Hopi and the breeze message. And in it, you just asked to continuously pay attention to your breathing and breathe in this coherent, conscious way. While you're listening, engaged in movement, the whole point here is that we can multitask when we are conscious, not when we're anxious. When we are conscious, we can multitask and actually get a lot done and enjoy it. That's not too bad, is it? So, I'm going to take you through the 5 steps. I will demonstrate them as we are here listening to gorgeous music. My voice basically speaking the Hopi message. And your own responses and reactions, basically sensing, feeling, thinking. That's what's going on. We sense, have sensations, bodily sensations, emotions, feelings, and thoughts. This is about regulating them all and not getting too distracted. And if you get distracted, you come back to the present, to the breath. So, here we go. Shake and breathe. Flowing like a river. Standing like a tree, making space. Walking like an elephant with grace. Dancing like a breeze and celebrating. Being one with the breath, one with life, being love. Breathing love and healing. Blah. So, it's that time again of starting to prepare for ending this live stream. So, I just want to read to you what I posted on Facebook this morning. To be an artist of living in meditation is to practice being present, loving, and fully alive all the time. To pay attention to breathings, sensations, feelings, and thoughts. To find the one you've been waiting for, even when you fear that you've lost it all. We have two programs right now that are about this, a 7-week mentorship program of introducing the practice and the skill of breathing love and healing, and a 12-week program of artists of living being held accountable to practice this on a daily basis and making it part of your life, a part of your life, and not being a part of life, but being part of life. My website is thebreeze.com, Breaze. And this is Samuel Jacob Kirshner, voice of the breeze, wishing you a day filled with joy, oxygen, and ease. Stay conscious, stay well. Much love.